challenges of putting these together is getting the lid off. And try and remember the way that it looks when it's on, because if you try and put it on upside down when we're done, it's not good. So it's kind of recessed at the top. So there's a little lock on the gray handle. Just undo that. Pull it all the way. Flip it. Yep, flip it all the way down. Okay, and then open it up. And then getting the lid off can be a little tricky, but you've got it open like that, and then you can just start pulling it off. So inside the barrel, we should have some pieces. There should be black tubing. There's a nozzle. These 3 white PVC pieces, which will be the overflow, and we'll do that kind of last. And then this is an adapter for where the water's going to go in. So there's not a lot of pieces. Does everybody have everything? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to attach this nozzle where the water's going to come out down here where there's a small hole near the bottom. Now you might need a friend for this part.
All right, there's 2 washers on there, so make sure you want to separate the 2 washers.
Right. So one washer is going to go on the inside, one washer is going to go on the outside.
What side this guy is going to
That's going to go on the inside. So this black part here is going to stick out like that. And if you'll notice, there's a control here for how to control how the water goes in and out, or just goes out. So put that on the top, pointing from the top.
And notice that the part that you're threading on has this sign that says turn this way, right? It says tighten with a little arrow. The tighten with the arrow should be up and tighten in the direction it says. That'll work out.
You don't get out.
Right, so you use that.
Yeah.
Everybody's good? Okay, so the next thing to put on is the overflow. This is not going to be as hard as the spigot. We have 3 pieces. Basically, take the smaller diameter PVC and put it in the bigger diameter, like this. This piece is going to go on the inside and slide out like that. So you've got it right there. And then the elbow is going to go like that. And that's your overflow. Right, so it's not, you're going to notice that it's not that tight. You probably will want to seal it with some silicone sealer. They recommend that in the instructions.
Seal the pipe down, right?
Around here, yeah, exactly.
The idea is that you can direct where you want it to go by going and picking up more PVC. Take and use, take this piece off right here and use the extra that you have here and do something like that.
Said, if you've got any kind of filter or screen catching stuff, if you don't clean that out, it's going to block the flow, and then you're going to have similar problems to overflow coming out where you don't want it to come out. So if you have that, you want to keep them clean as much as you can.
So this, when you go to put back on your lid, you can just take a piece of this and put the lid on, and then cinch it, and then cut it, or leave it hanging out.
If you put this back on, want the recessed part pointing out.
Let's see a problem.
Yeah.
So here's an issue already that we're learning, is that you give yourself extra fabric here so that you can push your hand down through here because your tube's got to go in there too.
And the thing to think about here is we want to make sure that we don't have, something where this is coming out at a horizontal and maybe even sloping back. We want the water to always be sloping towards the rain barrel as much as we can. Got it measured. I'm going to mark where I'm going to cut. Alright. This going to be a little tricky because I'm going to have to do it left-handed. So we'll give it a try. And just short strokes until you get it started. There are two tools which are really important. The hacksaw and the tin snips. And most people probably have a hacksaw. Most people probably don't have tin snips. What I did is I first cut with the hacksaw, maybe halfway through, maybe farther, depending on how far I could get, and then use the tin snips to cut down and give myself more room to cut around. It was a little tricky, so luckily we're able to detach just a smaller portion of the downspout. You know, you don't want to have to probably take the whole thing down. Luckily it's in two pieces. We can take it off much easier, cut off the pieces that are a little bit jagged. So now we've got a pretty smooth edge. You can file it down if you want. It's just a little rough, but it's not so important because we're going to cover it up with this piece. I'm just going to attach this onto here. Okay.
This is a little bit more advanced.
So if you don't have a pump, what you're going to want to use to give yourself some pressure is height. So the higher you raise the rain barrel from where you're watering, the more pressure you're going to have.